Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carrie, and today I'm doing my most disappointing books of the year. These are all books that I was highly looking forward to. They're either hyped up or there's something about them that I just was desperate to read, and then whenever I start reading them, I'm just like, oh no, this is not it. This is not good. And they're just super disappointing. They may not be badly written. They may not be the worst thing that I've read, but they're just highly, highly disappointing. Let's go ahead and get started. The first book on my list is going to be Looking to Score. This is by Coralie June and Carrie Gray. So I read Burnout by Coralie June the very last day of 2019. And I was just like, oh my God, this book is it. Like, this book is so good. And it is, by the way, it is a student-teacher romance, Burnout. If you haven't read it yet, you need to. It's so good. But Looking to Score, I was so hyping up this book. I was just like, yes, let's do this, Coralie. Like, you know, another kind of young adult, new adult age romance. It is a football romance, which I am a huge football fan. So I'm just like, yes, let's do it. Like, I haven't read that many football romances. Read a ton of hockey, but, and I don't even watch hockey, but I am a football girl. Give me some football jerseys. Like, yes, please. So first of all, because I am a huge football fan, something really, really bothered me. I'm from Oklahoma. I am a OU girl, Boomer Sooner all the way. And so I was super stoked whenever I saw this guy was from Texas. And if you don't know, Texas OU rivalry, biggest rivalry of the year for us. Like, we are huge Texas haters. They are huge Oklahoma haters. Like, we just don't get along. It is what it is. And so he's a football player, quarterback from Texas, and they have the first game of the year playing at OU, and so let me set the record straight. First of all, OU Texas is Red River rivalry. It is always played at the Cotton Bowl, always. And it is never the first game of the year. It is always towards the end. It is a rivalry game. So just do your research, authors. Please, 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 please. If you are going to be writing about football, do your research. If you're going to be writing about football playing at a certain school, do your research. Like, there are those of us that are fans of these teams that will be reading these books and will know if something is not even close to accurate. So it would take literally 2 minutes to go on Google and search OU Texas football and see that it's played at the Cotton Bowl. Like, it literally would have taken them 2 minutes. So that really frustrated me, obviously. And second of all, there was the main heroine had a eating disorder. She was I forgot which eating disorder it was, but it had an eating disorder and it was not very well written at all. In my opinion, it was not addressed. It was not taken into account. It was just very, very, very badly done. And so I just don't recommend the book. The next book that I have to talk about is The Coppersmith Farmhouse by Daphne Perry. I have been seeing this title, this book all over for a couple of years now. Daphne Perry is supposed to be a super popular author. Some of my favorite book bloggers have really hyped her up, and so I was super ready to read this book. I was nervous, I was anxious because I had heard such good things about Daphne Perry. And then I read the book and I'm just like, what the fuck did I just read? So The Coppersmith Farmhouse, it started out really cute. It's a small town hate to love relationship, and I'm just like, yes, I'm here for it. So good. Well, it went from hate to love to insta love in about 30 pages. And then after the insta love, it turned into a murder mystery plotline, which turned into a really cheesy kidnapping. The plot was all over the place. The book was all over the place. It was not very well done at all. And I'm just like, why is this so hyped up? I don't get it. So I don't know if I'm missing something, but it was bad. It was just, yeah, it was bad. The next on my most disappointing list is not just a book, it's an entire series. And I might get some flack for this one, but the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. I hated it. There's 4 books. I've read 3 of them. I was disappointed with every single one of them. I read the first 2 twice thinking maybe I missed something, and I didn't. It was just really slow, really boring, really stupid. It wasn't for me. I didn't like how Michael treated her in the first book, and then like he doesn't even apologize for his misunderstanding, and like she just jumps into bed with him. That is a really, really lousy heroine in my opinion. Like, make him grovel for it, girl. But I just thought it would get better. The second book, I literally didn't even remember reading it the first time that I read it. Like, it was just not memorable at all to me. The third book, I was like, I know I'm gonna love Damien. Everybody loves Damon. Damien? I think it's Damon. Anyway, everybody loves him. Like, everybody loves him. Says that that's their favorite book. And I read it and I was bored to tears. Yeah, it was way too long, way too drawn out, and I was just bored. And by that time, I'm just like, nope, the series isn't for me. I'm not reading the next book in the series. It's even longer. It was like 17-hour audiobook, y'all. Like, it's a romance. 17 hours. What can you have to talk about for 17 hours? Oh, no, it's just not for me. Not at all. The next book is really sad for me. It's Our Way by T.L. Swan. I love Mr. Masters. It's one of my favorite books of last year. Oh God, I forgot to add it to my favorites. Oops. Mr. Masters is one of my favorite books of the year, and I totally forgot to add it to my favorites list. Okay. Anyway, Our Way was one of my most disappointing. First of all, he cheats, in my opinion, on her. It is a best friends relationship. He is pansexual. He doesn't know he's pansexual. He thinks he's just gay at first. This book was kind of a dumpster fire, in my opinion, because pansexual, it wasn't very well written. He is like, at the very, very beginning of this book, it was like, straight up, I'm gay, you know, like, he's like, oh, I can't fall for you because, you're not the right sex for me. Like, he just, like, straight out says I'm gay. But then 10 years later, like, his therapist is like, so you're gay. And he's like, gets offended because he, like, says that he's gay because he's, you know, apparently attracted to women now after 10 years of seeing her naked and being around her all the time because she's his best friend, like literally sleeping in the same bed. But he sees this like magical golden bikini that like makes him all of a sudden just like get hard for her. But he literally slept in the same bed with her naked and didn't get hard for her. So tell me how that, whatever. Anyway, there was parts of this book that I actually really enjoyed and really loved, but the cheating was a no-go for me. Like, for the two of them being the best of friends for 10 years, they had absolutely no communication skills with each other. They fought all the time. They could not speak freely to each other, and that just didn't make sense for them being best friends. This book was just a dumpster fire. Sorry, it just was. The next book that was the most disappointing was The Player by Claire Contreras. I have the book up there somewhere, but I'm just too lazy to get all the way up there and get it. It is the most beautiful book cover I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, that guy is a god. But the book itself was a hot mess. He is a football player, soccer player, and he came to New York for business. They meet up, him and the heroine. She goes back with him, and one of the most frustrating things in the entire book for me was that she is all the way over in another country to be with him because he asked her to. and he goes off and does meetings and stuff. And then he's out there, like, he tells her to get ready to go on a date with him that evening. And it's hours later, she's already ready, and she ends up falling asleep waiting on him. And he's out there playing football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, for hours. And it's because he forgot about her. Like, he totally forgot that she was even there, which was like a no-go, in my opinion, in a romance. Like, I don't want to read about a realistic man. I want to read about, like, the perfect man that I can never obtain. So I don't want to read about some asshole forgetting about the heroine. Like, that just kind of ruined the book for me. The next book is Gabriels Inferno. I watched the very first part of the Passion Flicks movie about this, and it was cheesy and ridiculous and B-movie rated, but it was really cute, and I was just like, oh, that's so good. I bet you the book's got to be really good too. Y'all, this author wrote a book like she was from the 1640s. It was like the author was trying super hard to be known as a accomplished author who writes old style, and it was just like these and thous, and it wasn't good. Like, it was third person point of view. It was all over the place. There was way too many details. Do you see how long this book is? And look at how tiny those words are. I mean, they are like lower than normal. This book was boring as all get out. Like, sex, like, didn't even happen in this book. I thought it was supposed to be erotica. It was not. It was boring. Just disappointing, period. The next book on my list is Scoring Wilder. This is by R.S. Gray. This is a book that I have been wanting to read for a very long time. I've heard so much about this. It has been hyped up for several years now. And I finally read it, and holy crap, it was awful. So I thought I was getting myself into a hate-to-love relationship between a soccer coach and a soccer player. Like, I'm just like, yes, I'm here for that. Let me go. It wasn't very taboo at all. It was very immature. It was between a professional soccer player guy who is now being an assistant coach at a local college. The girl is playing at this college, and she's a freshman, but she's very popular. But it ended up taking on this Mean Girls trope, where it was just, that was the entire plot, was about the mean girls. And there was a couple of older girls on the team who treated this girl like crap because she was known as the best coming in. Like, she had already had sponsorships. Like, people are hyping her up as being like the best of the best, and this girl is just not having it. So she takes herself and her little croonies, and they bully the younger girls. And that's the entire plot of this book, is like about this girl. Like, from start to finish, it is just a Mean Girls trope, and I hate Mean Girls. Like, I think that as women, we should be empowering women. I think that I hate slut shaming. I hate, like, treating other women like crap. I hate the going behind other women's backs. Like, I just don't think we should do that. I think that in books, we need to uplift each other. I want to see good female relationships in books. I want to see us taking away from being catty and nasty towards each other. I would much rather have, like, a bro code relationship between my girls. Like, I want them to call me up and be like, I just had the best sex of my life. And I'd be like, go, you tell me in detail what happened. That's the kind of relationship that I want to have with other women. And I don't like to read about nasty women being rude to other women. Like, I just don't want to hear that. I think that we need to take away that narrative of being catty and being rude to each other. And I think we need to adopt a more, in my opinion, a regular approach to sex in the way that we treat other women. Like, I think we need to uplift each other. And so it really frustrates me whenever I see that in books, and I absolutely despised it. I was not expecting it to be in there. And that book was just absolutely not for me. The next book that I have on my most disappointing list is Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. This one is super, super hyped up. Everybody loves it. It was okay. I was really expecting a lot, but whenever I got into the plot, I'm just like, oh, this is cheesy. It's so beyond unrealistic that it just was just like almost fan fiction in and of itself. It was like, I just can't picture some dude like Sam Hugan or like some major TV star, like, I don't know, like Ian Somerhalder. That would be like Ian Somerhalder sitting there writing fan fiction about his own TV series, and like then like having a relationship with a big girl. Like, he just like it's just so out there that it's just like, come on, like you might as well be reading about vampires. Like, it is just so unrealistic. And then another thing that really disappointed me is they're like, oh, big girl rep, and I'm like, yay, big girl rep. And then the whole book is about her and like how she won't eat healthy at all, and how like it's all about donuts and pizza, and like some big girls may be like that, but a lot of us are not. Like, it just really frustrates me whenever big girls are seen as eating all the time, or like not ever eating healthy foods, or like completely against going out and working out. Why is there this big like misconception about big girls and not eating healthy and not working out? Like, I just don't get that. Like, she made such a big deal out of him. Even like, she would ask him a question about like what he would recommend, and he's a healthy guy, so he eats healthy there, and so he would say a couple of things and she would get offended at it, and it's like, oh, okay, come on. Like, how could that's a really fucking stupid question to ask him, because you know he eats healthy. Look at him, he eats healthy. So why would you get offended if he mentions a couple healthy options? Like, I would never be offended by that. So it just kind of blows my mind that that's like a major thing. All right, another book on my most disappointed list is The Roommate by Rosie Danan. Another book that was super hyped up. People were talking about it. It's like one of the most talked about books last year in the romance community. And it wasn't that good, in my opinion. I've read a lot better relationships whenever it comes to like between a porn star and like a regular girl. Two of them are Lingus and Porn Star by Lingus is by Mariana Zapata. Porn Star is by Sierra Simone and Laura Lynn Page, I think. There's two authors, but Sierra Simone is for sure one of the authors. Both of those I would highly suggest over this one. The Roommate was really annoying to me. I did not like this heroine, not even a tiny bit. She really annoyed me. She was a socialite who felt like her standing in society was super important and treated the hero like crap whenever I felt like he was just trying to do everything he could for her. I didn't really feel the connection between the two. It just didn't make any sense to me. She was so uptight and rude, and I just didn't like her at all. And the last book that I have to talk about is my most disappointing book of the year. And I'm really sad that I have to put this on this list. I have been a fan of this series since I was 18. It's what got me into reading, and so to put this on this list is just super heartbreaking for me. But that's Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. This book was boring and annoying, and like, whew. Maybe it's just me and I'm outgrowing the series, unfortunately. I don't know, but holy crap, Edward. Like, I never understood why people were just like, he's really creepy, like he's a stalker. Like, I'm just like, I always wanted a boy to sneak into my bedroom window every night. Like, like, I'm not offended by that. Like, I would have loved that. But holy crap, he was creepy in this book. He used to like sit out on a tree and watch her all day. Like, it's really creepy. It's just so creepy. Yeah, this book. It was long, it was boring, and Edward was creepy as fuck. Okay. I don't know what else to say about that book. Whew, it was, yeah, it wasn't for me. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. What was your most disappointing? What books would you tell me to steer clear of? Let me know in the comments below. We'll talk there.